What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you are new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. And with this video, we are jumping into our Indie Comics weekend with Nocterra Blacktop Bill Special. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with Scott Snyder's Nocterra, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything that has been going on with this run. But in the wake of our first story arc coming to a close, as we wait for the next issue to come out, we are getting the origin story of Blacktop Bill, one of the most feared individuals in all of this new wasteland. And as we dive into this one-shot, be sure to buy the comics, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so we are diving into the Blacktop Bill Special, and we are hearing a story from Mother Hubbard and Bellwether's conversation from Nocterra number 4. This is continuing on, letting us know where Blacktop Bill originated from. And that takes us to Florida, before the big PM. That's how the legend goes. Somewhere outside of Tampa, he was a simple man. He had children, he had a wife, he had a loving family, a beautiful home. He seemed like the regular 9-to-5 guy. And by all appearances, he was a stand-up citizen. He planned the food drives in the neighborhood. He made sure that everyone had everything they needed. He was just a genuinely nice person. A man who spent maybe a little too much time out in his shed doing his hobbies. But the truth of the matter is his hobbies was murder. It was killing, it was brutally executing anyone who got in his way. Because this man was a hitman. As the story goes, Blacktop Bill was a hitman for the mob, willing to kill women, children, anyone that gets in his way, anyone that he is contracted to kill. He would not hesitate to pull that trigger. But Blacktop Bill is not this man. And what we see is this Florida man get an axe in his head. Because Blacktop Bill, he is a hitman for hitmen. Blacktop Bill is much more terrifying than this man that everything he has ever done ever could be. Because Blacktop Bill, he is the guy that you send out when you want things taken care of, when you want other hitmen taken care of, when you want other families completely taken out. He is the guy you send in. And we see some images from present day, before he becomes that silhouette of a man. When the big PM happened, he did not stop and he still murdered everybody along his way. Even when he was told to rescue them, we see him gunning down people and saying that he heard nothing, he saw nothing, nothing but shades. But the truth is, Blacktop Bill, while he may have been a sociopath, he was a highly intelligent one. He was a thinker, a man who reads all the time, a philosopher. And as time grew on, he really started to grow a faith in what he was doing, believing that he was chosen by some kind of divine intervention, that this was his purpose and his sole purpose in all of life. This makes him as crazy as a religious zealot. And it made it to where he created a type of system for himself to live by. And so while he goes out there, he kills people on the daily. He has a sense of passion for this. And so when he wants to go for those quote-unquote passion kills, he does it in his own truck. No one really knowing the significance of why he uses his truck. Whenever it becomes personal, whenever it becomes a passion kill, that's when he pulls the truck out and he goes hunting. And his faith, it was his name. Blacktop. Blacktop meaning asphalt. He was one of those men who went through his life believing that he was divine, believing that he had a purpose. The rumor being that he had one of the highest body counts of any American serial killer ever to exist. And he had a knack for making it look like a suicide, making it look like an accident, a natural disaster, something of that nature. And this is because he never sought out any kind of notoriety. He always wanted to be on the down low, making sure that nobody ever knows he was the one to kill somebody. And the big PM, it was really just an excuse for him to let loose. Believing that society was already on a downfall, the death was inevitable, the end was coming regardless, and it did. The end came for all of them, and in this new world, Blacktop Bill, he was able to thrive. Death was his sole purpose in life, and death was all that existed in this new world. And we see just how strong, how much of a killer Blacktop Bill is. Having a shade knock him off the road, he goes toe to toe with one of these, taking on a shade with his bare freaking hands. He even bites one of them, pulling out his pistol. He takes down 3 of these shades, and we're seeing just how truly BA he is. One of the baddest mofos to walk the land is Blacktop Bill. But the question is still out there, how did he become a walking silhouette? How did he become something between shade and human? Something that even the shades fear. But that is a story that links back to Tiberius. And though that's going to be another story for another time, what we are let known is that our heroes currently on the run from Blacktop Bill, this is no longer a job for him. This has become personal. This has become a passion kill. So much so, we see Blacktop Bill going to his barn and pulling out his truck. Because as soon as he pulls that truck out, every one of them are doomed. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I think this definitely answers some questions about Blacktop Bill, at least where he came from, where his beginnings were really from. Them still not divulging any information really on how he became the Silhouette Man. But we have to imagine that it had something to do with Tiberius because it showed him, and some kind of experiment. With Tiberius and them being responsible for the big PM, we can only imagine what kind of other experiments they were doing with humans and shades alike. And we saw a little bit when they were back at the Prism, but we never got the full understanding of what Tiberius and this organization have truly been up to. But with Blacktop Bill being one of the most arguably best killers to ever exist, they have a lot to worry about, and they have a long way to go. Now, the artwork in this series I wasn't really too fond of. You know, Nocterra has been pretty exceptional when it comes to their covers, when it comes to the artwork inside. This one really wasn't up to par to all the other issues. I didn't necessarily hate it. I felt like it felt like just a little bit rushed. Maybe that's just my take on it, but let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.